And what you'll find is that how your clients handle business and talk is completely different from, you know, what you do as a lawyer. I learned a lot from my clients early on, and I still do, and I learned a lot just by being in the music spaces. And as we said before, music spaces is not necessarily the club at some party, but just around the people that are creative. So I'll just throw a question on there and anyone can answer. So with the progression in the music space, what do you feel are the 2 to 3 core skill sets that these students should be developing now on your path to becoming music workers?
Communication. Definitely the ability to communicate. And when I say that, from understanding, communication is 2 ways. So understanding what your client wants and being able to assert that to a third party, record label, producer, the manager, whoever else you represent that you have to deal with on behalf of your client. That's very important in this industry. A lot of people don't know how to communicate. They come off the wrong way. So I definitely go hard with communication. I learned that myself, so I got to say that a lot. That's one that I came with as well. So communication, you got to know what you're doing and experience. That's my theory.
I would say really just growing with your clients, you know, make sure you know what they like, what they dislike, and you know, like you said, communication. That's really like a big part because they be busy on the road, and you know, you have to keep up with what they got going on. There's a lot of phone calling, you know. So.
And I just want to chime in on that. When you say grow with your clients, and that's not something that we've really talked about before. That is so important because you will not, and this is what I thought when I graduated from law school and became licensed to be a lawyer. I thought I would just show up and say, I'm smart, I love music, hire me. No, you will not likely land someone who's already established. You have to grow. Right now, one of my biggest clients is someone that I've been growing with for the last several years. And it really does happen like that. And that's where all the sacrifice comes in early on. You will not fall into the big deals, the big money. You will have to grow, and at the same time, you must be creative as well. And another thing you said is about your clients being on the road, keeping up with them. This is a big thing. Because what you realize is that your client is not going to come to you and tell you what it is that he or she needs. They don't know, you know, they don't know what to tell you. So if you have a client that's constantly traveling and creating and all of the above, you've got to find a way to continue to communicate with them, to know what it is that they're doing. And that's something that I am still continuing to do. I'll get a phone call and say, we have Alex coming out next week and you're shooting a video Friday after. I mean, these things happen and they don't know to call you to let you know because they're just creating and they're in their own world. They've collaborated with all these people and it's just cool in creation to them, but they're going to release it. And you're thinking like, wow, everybody needs to be cleared. I'm sure you don't have those split sheets.
Exactly.
So it's lawyers.
Yeah,
I mean, it can be exhaustive, but it is definitely something that you have to be aware of, you know, what it means to be a music lawyer in that capacity. So, Kevin, from your end, what are 2 to 3 skill sets that you think that they should be developing at this point?
I like the ones that come to the table. I think the thing that you guys have to realize is that your clients are self-employed most of the time. And because they're self-employed, they're not really business people. They're not business-minded people. So they're not thinking about the little things that is being brought up here that they got to be aware of, like, you know, like any form of documentation that keeps track of what they're doing. I think you guys have got to get it in your mind that you're going to do a little babysitting in the beginning of your client, and structuring and business 101. You're going to kind of step outside your bounds a little bit. You're going to find yourself at a courthouse because somebody was, you know, drunk driving or whatever the case may be. That's gonna be part of your relationship. You know, it's not gonna always be law. Another thing I think I try to help clients understand is retainer agreements in the beginning. How important a retainer agreement is for your client when they're first starting out. Because they need to know that it's better for them to do a retainer agreement than to be sitting there trying to do a per hour or something like that, or just do a retainer agreement. So you put a nice little chunk of money down, and then, you know, the lawyers, then you got to teach them how to work through it. Okay, this meeting is going to cost, so you can't call me every day, all day. That's what this is going to see. You got to sit them down and tell them that how you got to help them understand the relationship and how you work and how to better serve you at doing your job. If they need, if there's a certain thing where you might have to give them a stack of cards because they don't, they might need to just talk to this person. You'll be this person, you know, because that, you know, or you got to give them some kind of way to tell that person to communicate with you. If they have a manager, maybe you got to set up weekly meetings, monthly meetings, whatever, with the manager, just to kind of keep up with what they're doing, so you can talk them through it. You and the manager have to come to a clear understanding, because this is a very vital point. You, in most cases, represent the client, which means that you and the manager are not on the same page all the time. The manager is representing the client. In one respect, you're representing the client. In another respect, you're not the manager's lawyer. You're the client's lawyer. Hopefully. I've seen other situations where the manager's lawyer and the artist are all the same lawyer.
Conflict of interest.
Very big conflict of interest.
And then like 2 years from now, we're like, man.
So hopefully, you know, you guys are, you know, because it's a team. It's a team. There's going to be certain people that play their roles, but the manager, you don't want, when it comes to certain decisions that have to be made, you want to know why did you make that decision? Not according, like they'll make a decision like, we want to go work on this project with this person and that person and this person and that person, and that's my boy. You know what I'm saying? I did that for him. Well, we still have to document. Even though that's your boy and it's free, I still have to document my boy. We still have to document, especially that word, oh, they don't want nothing, they said they'll do it for free. Please make them write that down. I've never seen what free is. I don't know what it is anymore. It just sounds like crazy to me when people say, oh, they're going to do it for free. Like, you're going to run into a lot of those clients, and they're going to have 3 or 4 albums. You're going to be like, whose record is this? And what producer? And you got to document all that, because a lot of times they're getting these tracks from their boy, and they're getting it from their friend, and they going and throwing this stuff out, and no one is talking to nobody until it looks like some money about to be made. Then all of a sudden everybody wake up and then it's a war.